Hi everyone. I thought I would just take a couple minutes while I have a break here in North Conway, New Hampshire. This morning we aren't doing anything right now and my husband had to run out. I wanted to get my thoughts down here about a couple advanced reader copies I've been reading from NetGalley that will be released around the time that I'm going to post this part of the video and the rest, because I'm afraid I'm just going to forget. I've made some notes, but while everything is fresh in my head. So I have been using NetGalley. It all started because indie press called Unnamed Press is publishing at the very beginning of April called Henry, and this is Brandon Taylor's baby as far as a indie press that he's involved. But I got Henry from NetGalley and I started reading it, but I saw that it was being published in April, so I haven't continued. I'm gonna wait until I get closer. So there were two memoirs that I read recently. I've posted something about these on my Bookstagram, which I don't post a lot on. The first is Grief is for People by Sloane Crosley. So I read a Sloane Crosley a long time ago, and I feel like she's just gotten better and more complex with each book. I think the last one I read was in 2018 that I don't remember the name of. But this one is about is a story about her friend, her boss actually, at Vintage Books. He was his name's Russell, and he was her boss, but really best friend. Have you ever had someone at work that became your best friend? I related to this immediately. I had a person who eventually became my manager, and back in the, I guess, early 2000s. And I mean, we were just like brother and sister. We made each other better in terms of our roles. We really just clicked. And so I just related to this relationship so much. Now, in this case, Russell is, I think, 13 years older than Sloane. But oh my gosh, Sloane's wry wit, her dry humor. I mean, this is a book about, I'll just say it, Russell's untimely death. I'm not going to go into details about that, but certainly because the title is Grief is for People, I would look at trigger warnings before reading it. But marked so many passages in here that I highlighted. If love comes from a desire to be known, then grief comes from the fleeting fulfillment of that desire. I had stored everything I liked best about myself in Russell. Now he would hardly let me access it, a preview of what it might feel like if he ever up and decided to burn the whole book. What she means is that before he passed away, they had grown apart. He became more unwilling to be as social as he had. And she had spent a lot of time at his house in Connecticut, I think, outside the city. They're in New York City. And those days were gone. He had become more isolated for several reasons. Yeah, I'm doing a really poor job talking about this book, but the way that Sloane puts into words her experience of losing someone like that and unexpectedly, it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful book. I am still thinking about it, actually, so I highly recommend it. And then the next one is Leslie Jamison's memoir about her marriage that's breaking up and the first year with her baby. It's called Splinters. I posted about this too. The cover is a really interesting one. It actually, I think, has Jamison's face on it, a portion of it. And then a little baby girl. And yeah, it's a weird cover choice. I am interested to see what the cover is going to be in the UK. Both of these books come out near the end of February. I think, let's see, Grief is for People, is publishing date is February 27th and Splinters is February 20th. Jamison's style is so in your face and brutally honest. That's what I really liked about it, but with a literary sense, you know? I felt like when I first started the book, I thought, I don't know about this one. The writing was a little, it was just kind of a day-to-day type of writing, but then it really kicked up as her marriage starts breaking apart and as the baby is born, and that accelerates some differences in them. The way she expresses her love of her baby daughter, it sounds like a trope, right? We've all read books like that, but it's magical. It just took me right back to those early days, that first year of having a baby. I don't know. I can't say that any book I've ever read about a mother with her baby has done that to me in the same way. I really felt for Leslie. I really did. There were times that I was struggling. I would be a little perturbed at her, but that's the honesty, the unflinching honesty part. She just puts it all out there. I thought this was a page turner. I wanted to know how the story ends. Like, what happens to Leslie? I mean, afterwards I looked up some more recent information on her and where she is in life, so that was cool to see what's happening now. I won't give that away, but I highly recommend this one too. Like, I just read the Rachel Cusk aftermath, her marriage breakup and her children being an issue, and that was so different in tone. It couldn't be more different. So this was stark, like it was so stark, but I really enjoyed it. And I'll just mention one other one, which is not coming out until March, which is why I'm going to barely mention it, but I just wanted to say, somehow I randomly picked a fiction, which I don't normally do, with the exception of Henry. But it's called Bad Animals by Sarah Braustein. And yeah, Sarah Braustein, I think she's written one other piece of fiction. I don't know her. I guess the reason I was attracted was this is a story about a librarian who loses her job. That happens right in the beginning. And the whole story is about what happens to Maeve after she loses her job. And it had this like literary feel to it. I guess when I was reading the description, I don't know. It's not the kind of book that I would normally read. Let's just put it that way. I hope that doesn't sound snobby. It's like lightweight, but it's touching on all kinds of different things. It might be trying to do too many things. I really can't wait until it actually publishes, and then I'll hear some other people talking about it and get a sense of what other people think about this book. And I don't know. So anyway, I just wanted to share my thoughts about these two memoirs that I've read recently. Thanks, and I'll drop you into whatever the next clip is.